So we are gonna hang primary and secondary fluids. I have already talked to the patient and verified their name, date of birth, and allergies. And I've already looked in the medical, in the MAR to verify the orders and make sure I have the right fluids to give. So I've already washed my hands. I'm gonna put on my gloves. And I'm gonna look at the tubing. I'm gonna open it up, the primary. Put the gloves on. And I'm just gonna assess the tubing to look for any kinks or any holes that might be in it, and it looks good. So right now I'm gonna make sure that there's a clear cap on it, and I'm gonna clamp it off. So roll that down. And I'm gonna set it down for right now so that I can uncap this. And I'm gonna go ahead and uncap this and make sure not to touch the spike. And I'm also gonna pull the blue off. Set that down. And then take the spike and put it into the port and make sure it gets all the way in. Get there eventually. All right, so it should be all the way in, and then I can go ahead and flip it up, squeeze the chamber, and fill it up about halfway. And then I'm gonna go ahead and hang it up. All right, and I can undo all of these. Normally I would, and then take off this blue part. Okay, so the blue part we would put in the IV pump, and it's still clamped for right now. I'm gonna go ahead and leave the cap on and unwind it. Pull that off. And I've got a trash can so that we can prime it. And I'm just gonna hold it over the trash can. Make sure you don't hold it in the trash can because it is, needs to be clean. Okay, and I would wait for it to be primed. And once it's primed, I'm gonna go ahead and clamp it back and drape it over my IV pump so that it's just hanging right there. And then we're gonna prime our secondary fluid. So like I said, I've already ensured that I have the right fluids. I'm just gonna check the pump one more time. Or the tubing of the pump. Pull it out. And then I'm gonna just set it down and go ahead and set the clip up. That way I can just move this easier. So I'm gonna remove the primary fluid and hook it on here so that it's gonna hang below once we do start the secondary fluid. And we're gonna do the same thing we did as far as priming goes. We're gonna clamp off our new tubing. Okay, and make sure it has the cap, and it does. So then I'm going to remove this stopper. Make sure not to touch the port, remove the spike, don't touch the spike. And then we're gonna just spike it one more time. Okay, and kind of kinked it, so we're gonna unkink it. Hold it up again, squeeze the drip chamber. We're good there. So then I'm gonna hold it over one more time. I'm gonna go ahead and hang it. That way I don't have to hold it while I prime it. And we're gonna unclamp it. I'm leaving the cap on again, like I said, until I hook it up to the patient, or in this case, the port. So that is primed. And there's no air bubbles, so it's all good. So now I'm I'm gonna just drape it, and I'm gonna get an alcohol swab, and we are going to find the primary tubing. And find the port for the secondary to hook onto, which will be right here. So I would take out this, I'm gonna clean the port. And I'm gonna clean it for at least 15 seconds. Okay, so we have cleaned that. Now we are going to take our secondary, remove the cap, all right, and we are going to connect to our primary. All right, so we've got that connected. Okay, so we've got our fluids hanging up properly. We've got the primary right here, so the secondary is right above that. And all of our tubing has been primed. So we are going to go ahead and hook this up to the patient. So for the patient hookup, you're gonna find their IV site. Go ahead and take another alcohol swab and clean that site for about 15 seconds. Then you can remove this cap and be sure not to touch the top of this because it is gonna connect to the IV. So we want to go ahead and just connect that. And once you have that connected, I'm just going to hold this over. You can go ahead and open up all of your clamps. So let's see, we'll open this one up. And then we will open the primary. I'll just open the secondary and it will flow through. And it's dripping out now.